All right, everybody, welcome to the channel. Frank Valkyrie here. You got your coffee? I'm ready. I got mine. We got to do this. I don't know if I want to do this, but we got to do this. This is the other segment of the interview of yesterday. Woo! All right, let's listen to this together. And I'm going to pause just in case. All right, commentary ahead. Let's go.
As you sit here with me now, has it sunk in?
All right, I cannot say anything. But I just want to replay that for you. Can I replay this for you? I can't. Here we go.
With me now, has it sunk in?
How could it? It's surreal and difficult. In part, yes. This has been a long time coming.
Do you stand by your testimony and your accusations against Johnny Depp about abuse?
Of course, to my dying day, will stand by every word of my testimony.
Oh, my freaking universe. Oh my God. I don't even know. I'm not even ready for this, honestly. I don't even know what to say. Frankly, am I surprised? Again, I'm not surprised. I'm honestly not surprised. You wouldn't expect anything different from a narcissist. And again, please, I know that there is a few people you guys may want to talk to, like a tutor. I will try to reach out, and I would love to talk to him. People which are more specialized in this type of content surrounding narcissists, pathological liars. I'm not surprised, but the thing that worries me the most is that those people are relentless. They're relentless, and they will always try to rewrite the story. Even 5 years from now, 10 years from now, they will try to rewrite the story. But we have to confide into people, common sense, good sense, if in seeing through this,
I think vast majority of this trial was played out on social media. I think that this trial is an example of that gone haywire, gone amok. And the jury is not immune to that.
You think the jury saw it?
How could they not? I think even the most well-intentioned juror, it would have been impossible to avoid this.
People online and crowds outside the courthouse made it clear where they stood.
Every single day I passed for 3, 4, sometimes 6 blocks, city blocks lined with people holding signs saying, "Burn the witch," "Death to Amber." After 3.5 weeks, I took the stand and saw just a courtroom packed full of Captain Jack Sparrow fans who were vocal, energized.
Can you put into words how that felt?
This was the most humiliating and horrible thing I've ever been through. I have never felt more removed from my own humanity. I felt less than human.
Let's go back to the day of the verdict.
I mean, the journalist, I swear to the universe, the face of the journalist, it's like I don't know this woman, but the face of this journalist, it's like, I can't believe this woman. I just can't believe what she's saying. And this is the feeling of everyone. You see, you notice that now she's adjusting the tone on a more humane level. She's trying to go around the fact that she actually lost in the court of law by the juror which saw the evidence. Let's forget that. Let's make it now like a humanistic issue now. I felt dehumanized by the social media reaction to my lies. Because you might have expected something different by perpetuating an hoax on somebody else for years, wearing the cape of the enlightened victim that served you for so long, right? With all the support of the mainstream media behind you, and now finally comes to the surface, the whole thing was a sham, and you think that the social media, the people, will not have reacted to it. You think that they have a personal beef with you. Like we wake up in the morning thinking of you. Not even the jury wanted to think of you. We think about coffee. That's what we think in the morning.
Were you feeling confident?
The sighing, man, the sighing. Oh,
That's
man.
a great question. I wish I could say yes to that. I want to say yes to you, but it wouldn't be true. Even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation.
You're lying. You're lying. Fair representation. More than fair. More than fair. Actually, this is going to get even fairer. After this interview, it's going to get even fairer, you know? This judge was outstanding. I'm not even a lawyer or a specialist, and the judge Azcarate was outstanding judge in being fair in this trial.
Find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation. Answer, yes.
After the 6-week trial, the jury found Heard defamed Depp in a 2018 Washington Post op-ed in which she wrote she was a public figure representing domestic abuse. She never mentioned her ex-husband by name. Depp denied the abuse allegations in court. Heard won just one of 3 claims in her countersuit against her ex-husband. That verdict came less than 2 years after a judge ruled against Depp in a similar case in the UK, in which he sued a British newspaper that called him a wife beater.
There was another trial, dealt with the same substantive issues that had even more evidence in. In fact, my evidence was largely kept out. Really important pieces of evidence kept out. Done differently, handled differently by a judge instead of a jury.
Some evidence is admissible in a UK court that is not admissible in a US court. Do you think that maybe he just had better lawyers?
I will say his lawyers did certainly a better job of distracting the jury from the real issues.
For some people, they just were frankly disgusted by the whole thing and don't have much sympathy for either one of you. Can you understand that?
Absolutely. I would not blame the average person for looking at this and how it's been covered and not think that it is Hollywood brats at their worst. But what people
Don't drag also him in it. This started from someone, you know? Also the journalist here, of course, I understand the technique, because trying to go against your host directly, attacking her, like just saying like, you know, people were disgusted by you, of course you're gonna put it off. So including also the other guy somehow creates, you know, like a little bit more like softer terrain to let her answer, so to speak. So I can understand that, but this is not what it worked. This is not what happened, in my opinion, honestly. And this is also not what people saw. So this is definitely one spoiled brat that ruined the life of another guy that had his own issue. Fine, we agree on that, but that's a completely other conversation to have. So the truth is that this person is still having an attitude, and I might be wrong here, like don't quote me on this, I'm not a specialist, but I would love to talk also to behavioral expert. I will watch some videos, I'm sure that will be done. Even here I have a sense that there is a trace of acting in this performance, in this delivery, you know, doesn't feel authentic. She goes out of her way to include side and you know, like pauses, the tone of the voice lower to just come across, you know, a little bit more vulnerable, but it does not come across authentic. And again, she's just rehashing unfounded things, you know, like the lawyer did. The evidence, it's been already proven that those evidence were largely like self-reported documents of therapist that she reported to her therapist, which were included in the UK trial, not in the US trial, which frankly, how can you go about if it's self-report? It's literally hearsay, so to speak, or whatever, you know, like cannot be trusted 100%. You're self-reporting whatever you want, one-sided to your therapist. It's not a GP, it's not a doctor, it's not an hospital documentation, unbiased. So this has already been largely disproved, but they still go about that,
People don't understand is it's actually so much bigger than that. This is not only about our First Amendment right to speak.
But here's the thing about the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects free speech. It doesn't protect lies that amount to defamation. And that...
Oh my God, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. That lady right there. That's a beautiful, beautiful reply.
That was the issue in the case.
Yes, exactly. You can't go into... The free speech does not protect you if you go into a crowded theater and you scream fire. We get the concept of free speech from the Greeks. My understanding of what that means is not just the freedom to speak. It's a freedom to...
Oh my God. She's trying quite hard to lecture. She's trying quite hard to lecture the interviewer and to lecture you and me on why we have to believe her. You know what I mean? She's literally lecturing you and me.
Speak truth to power.
But truth is the word.
Yes.
And that was the issue.
And that's all I spoke. And I spoke it to power, and I paid the price.
In the closing arguments, the Depp lawyer called your testimony the performance of a lifetime and said you were acting. What do you say to that?
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers. I'm the performer. I had listened to weeks of testimony.
What does it even mean, honestly? I don't understand, that remark. Says the lawyer, of a client that had scissor. What does it even mean? And did you notice also how, in this remark, they wanted to come across as, mild, but actually, in a way, it's an insult. It's trying to create an insult, give an insult, and also to see how changed her expression and the tone slightly, immediately getting combative, spiteful. She cannot get away from herself. She reveals herself all the time to you. But remember, she's here trying to rewrite the narrative, convince people that didn't watch the trial that she is entitled to be reconsidered based on her human rights, of existing and free speech. The Greeks. Just to make sure to throw in some names, We will get also some Roman Empire emperor or something.
Insinuating that, or saying quite directly that, I'm a terrible actress. So I'm a bit confused how I could be both.
The Depp team argued that you were the abuser, that you instigated physical violence. Did you?
I never had to instigate it. I responded to it. When you're living in violence and it becomes normal, as I testified to, you have to adapt.
You say you were responding, but there is evidence. There are tapes in which you acknowledge hitting. There are tapes in which you say, I started the fight.
I know much has been made of these audio tapes. They were first leaked online after being edited. What you would hear in those clips are not evidence of what was happening. It was evidence of a negotiation of how to talk about that with your abuser.
But I am looking at a transcript that he says, you start physical fights, and you say, I did start a physical fight. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. I mean, this is in black and white. I understand context. But you're testifying and you're just telling me today, I never started a physical fight, and here you are on tape saying you did.
As I testified on the stand about this, is that when your life is at risk, not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources that, say, you or I do with the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and white, because it's anything but when you're living in it.
But then there are other times, there's another tape where you're taunting him and saying, oh, tell the world, Johnny Depp, I, a man, am a victim of domestic violence.
20-second clips or the transcripts of them are not representative of even the 2 hours or the 3 hours that those clips are excerpt from.
All right, I suggest something. First of all, go listen to those audios, which likely actually are available not only in the clips that they showed in the trial, but actually are leaked online. You can listen to it. There's literally like 4 hours and a half audio, 1 hour audio. There is actually that conversation on the phone in full. To me, it doesn't sound edited. You can hear it. You can call me out in case it is, but to me it doesn't sound like it's edited. So again, trying to rewrite the narrative for the people that actually don't know what they're talking about. This is what it is. People don't know that this conversation she's referring to on the phone, right? Where also Johnny tells her, like, let's not go down this way. It's going to be a disaster for you and me and all of that. It's available. And she's telling people that it's not. It's out of context. That she reacted to the violence because afraid for her life. Like this attempt, even in front of the journalist, of literally gaslighting the journalist, she's first of all keeping her composure to a level that, you know, mainstream media like this, lady, very good, honestly, quite impressed. Because the lady, I can see it through her eyes, the lady's like, I've never sat in front of somebody full of shit like this. And I tell you this type of behavior starts to worry me. This is the type of behavior that this is not even anymore like narcissist. This is straight out sociopath. Like, it's unreal. It's literally trying to rewrite the perception of what people saw. Hundreds of millions of people, she's trying to do that. Still claiming to be the victim of something that did not happen. And wasn't for those audios available, oh my God. People, share those audios, keep those audios, duplicate those audios, because they're going to go after this stuff, you know? And I also have a suggestion. If you have also more evidence of those audio into context, like the journalist said, I understand context. Lady, you're pretty awesome, honestly. Show it to us. But I think we heard enough. Honestly, I think we heard enough.
Could your side have just put the whole 3 hours in then?
I'm not a lawyer. As I testified to, I was talking in those recordings as a person in extreme amount of emotional, psychological, and physical distress.
He
And
says
it
he
doesn't-
never hit you.
He can't-
Never. Is
Yeah.
that a lie?
Yes, it is.
What about the witnesses who said they have seen you instigate physical violence?
I've seen firsthand how people will file rank and support the person they depend on.
Did they all come in and lie in court?
I am not here to call any of his witnesses any names. I'm here to just kind of talk about it from...
What you did, like, oh, I just love how those people give themselves away constantly. Constantly. It's just likely they cannot get away from themselves. And here we go. Literally, she's denying herself in the same 9 minutes. You know, not even like a week or 1 day. Literally in the same 9 minutes, contradictions. Calling people, I'm not going to call the whatever the people testifying, like his testimonies, names. She goes ahead and calls them randos.
Just kind of talk about it from what it felt like for me as the person who sat there.
When I asked his lawyers, why do you think you won? And the answer I got was, because she never took responsibility for anything she did in the marriage.
I did do and say horrible, regrettable things throughout my relationship. I behaved in horrible, almost unrecognizable to myself ways. I have so much regret. I freely and openly and voluntarily talked about what I did. I talked about the horrible language. I talked about being pushed to the extent where I didn't even know the difference between, right and wrong. I will always continue to feel like I was a part of this, like I was.
Oh my God, this woman, unreal. Again, like, they cannot get away from themselves. And as you can see, like, I love the look in the eyes of the journalist. She's just like, oh my God, this woman. It's just like, the woman, she's feeling cringe to a level where I want to disappear myself, right? So, and in conjunction to what they just said about taking responsibility, right? You see how she adapts, trying to reply, trying to come across as if actually she's trying to get some responsibility for something she did, but she feels 10 seconds in. Like talking about how she regrets behaving like that, but then has, because they cannot admit they did something wrong, you know? I was to the level where I could not recognize any more right or wrong. So underline that part, because that's her part still, where she's unable. She's basically telling you, I did those things that are regrettable, but I did them because I lost the compass in what actually, how to recognize what is right or what is wrong. So she's saying something like, to look like she's taking the responsibility, which immediately gets nullified by the other statement that she's making, because she's not taking responsibility. So it's unreal how much those people cannot get away from themselves.
It's the other half of this relationship because I was. And it was ugly. And could be very beautiful.
Oh my God.
It was very, very toxic. We were awful to each other.
Oh my God.
You know, I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. But I've always told the truth.
Hurd's lawyers say they plan to appeal that verdict. And as for the notion from Hurd that there was evidence allowed in that UK trial that could have potentially made a difference.
Oh my God, man. I really like, I think it's a good thing that this person is on TV, because like I said, they cannot get away from themselves. This, honestly, I don't think is changing absolutely nothing in the way people are perceiving this woman. No one, if anything, people are getting the proof that actually there might be something even more, you know, going on with this woman. Like I said, to me, I'm almost scared that this is more sociopath kind of behavior than only narcissist, you know. This goes beyond. The way you can keep a straight face and keep lying in front of people, you know, like, it's a complete sign to me of not being able to recognize when you're wrong, when you should just shut up and disappear for a while. You're already fighting the fight again right away because you think that there is a chance that you can change their narrative, but that's where they're wrong. People have seen enough. People have seen enough to make up their mind, and you can just try to swindle them in whatever way you like, with a change of tone, a little bit better acting, trying to modify your appearance, you know, your mannerism, so to fit with upgrades you need to kind of have in order to be more believable. But honestly, frankly, it didn't look any more believable than her being on the stand whatsoever. If anything, it just increased the cringe, the frustration in people, because people see this BS. They feel it. Even the journalist was like, wow, I can't believe what I'm hearing. Like, absolutely insanity. So guys, let me know what you think about this interview. Leave a comment. Always spread love, because this is what it's all about at the end of the day. But, you know, we had to look into this interview and listen from her mouth how she's perceiving this, you know? And again, don't forget, she blamed the jury again. In another way, like a little bit like going around, but still, she blamed the jury to be victim of social media and therefore being influenced by it, therefore not doing their job properly. So don't forget that. Those people are trying to write the truth. Huh? And they don't realize that whatever they're involved with, it's always you and me and millions of us which would choose with their wallet whether or not buying a perfume or a t-shirt or going to the movie theaters. So they just don't realize. People like this, they think that once they've achieved like the sort of upper echelon of becoming an Hollywood celebrity or whatever, they think the stuff is granted to them. But they forget that studios, actors, whatever, they're brought down by people if we do not agree with what you're selling. So those people are really, they've lost absolutely touch with reality. But we will see. The present and the future will tell us how we'll deal with this human being. That obviously I wish her well. I wish her to be able to see herself in the mirror, to be able to set herself on a path of healing. But this is not looking good. This is not looking good at all. Anyway, guys, again, always spread love. I talk to you later. Please subscribe to the channel. Mamma mia, come si fa questa maronna?